Welcome back to part 6 of the series covering all the changes Viz Media did to Mega Man NT Warrior's English dub. If you haven't yet, I highly suggest you check out the other parts. This is a series, and as the 6th entry, you'd be missing a lot of context if you jumped in at this point. In this video, I will be taking a look at episodes 41 to 47, what I call the Net City finale arc. Before starting, there is one more character name change in this arc. Napalm Man has been renamed Moltanic Man. This change is only reflected in the English dub of NT Warrior, and remains Napalm Man in the Battle Network video games. So with that, Episode 41 has been retitled from The Good Dog Rush to The Incredible Rush. The TV program showing the giant cat has the graphic translated into English, and also the news program name is removed. Text is removed on Net City's floor's reflection in this shot, despite having been left alone earlier in the series. The giant cat punching rush not only has a flash to obscure the point of impact, but frames of the punch connecting are also removed. Continuing on from that, the giant cat punching rush loses the recurring shots and only shows the flurry punches once instead of 3 times. Mega Man shocking the cat and its smoking defeated remains is cut out. Episode 42 has been retitled from Switching Jobs to Gospel to Working for Grave. In the very opening establishing shot, some text is translated while other is removed. This happens a few times. Maddie's cleavage has been censored when she is in a swimsuit. Gauss gushing about how much of a fan of Dr. Wily he is all cut out. It's a long scene of him showing to Maddie his large collection of Wily figures. Maddie reacting to Gauss's collection is cut out. The establishing shot of Gauss drinking before the cast arrives to his party is cut out. Additionally, Gauss's wine is recolored to orange in every shot it appears in. Multiple reaction shots of the crowd is cut out. Ya using her forehead to blind some of the attendees of Gauss's party is cut out. Some of the protagonist Navis defeating viruses is cut out. Lan kicking the Gravebots is cut out, so the dub goes from showing him using the bow staff on one of them to landing back on his feet. Gauss removing his suit to reveal that he's a cross-dresser is cut out. Maddie explaining to Gauss why she is betraying him is cut out. Lan calling Gauss a cross-dresser to his face is cut out, and finally Gauss being upset at his loss, still in a dress, is cut out. Episode 43 is titled Take Me Out to the Ball Game. This is a Japan-only episode, and it's a baseball episode, largely played straight. There really isn't too much to say about this one. I think it wasn't dubbed because of the heavy uniform names, and also because it's kinda boring. There's no net battles at all, just baseball. But if it were dubbed into English, Kyuta's name would have been localized on the board in their class, just like Yai's was in her introduction. Kyuta's baseball's Japanese text would have likely been translated into English as well. Part of the reason I'm sure this episode was undubbed is because of the heavy use of Japanese text on the baseball uniforms, as shown here. And that's really it. Not much to say about this one. Episode 44 is called Nightman's Betrayal in both versions. Princess Pride caressing Lan, and Rush trying to stop Meilu from getting jealous is cut out. And the only other change is that Moltanic Man using his scope to lock onto Mega Man and Nightman to try to shoot them is cut out. This happens 5 times throughout the episode, and was likely removed because it adds an element of realism to the fantasy weapons. This is despite the fact that a character later in the series will use a sniper complete with scope as its primary weapon. More of that later. Episode 45 is called To the Moon in both versions. The Navi practice fight between the squad is cut out at the beginning of the episode. Lan eating with his mom and shots of the rocket launching is all cut out. The code that Mr. Famous gives Lan has a completely different code, and this is changed thrice in the episode. Once when given to Lan, another in a flashback, and finally when Lan actually uses it. In both versions, Lan uses the Vulcan chip. However, the dub cuts out it actually being used, largely because it looks like a giant Gats. The dub writes this off by Miyu explaining that this kind of chip can't work properly on the moon. The final scene of the episode, showing where Mesa stood and his footstep containing the code that was given to Lan, is all cut out. Episode 46 has been retitled from Dr. Wily's Legacy to Mr. Wily's Legacy. In addition to Yahoot's shop being localized in nearly every shot it appears in, when the remnants of World 3 bring the Wily statue to the shop, the Japanese text on the banner is removed as well. The tune that Lan sings is Aki's song, which is changed from its original Japanese version to an English version. Maddie slapping Gauss, and, at least in the subs I have, literally calling them a homosexual is cut out. Everyone's reaction is also cut out. Shots of the security navis being defeated by Mega Man and a shot of him using his Mega Buster is cut out. Magnet Man choking Elec Man before tossing him is cut out. A flash is added and a few frames are removed from Magnet Man and Elec Man's final confrontation with each other. Mega Man defeating the last security Navi and aiming his buster on screen in Heat's Gut style is cut out. Gauss's blimp crashing into the iceberg is cut out, though the dub keeps the setup, the reaction of the cast, and the implication of death. Additionally, after they are revealed alive, Count Zap calling Gauss a homosexual on a few occasions is changed to generic insult banter. Episode 47 is called the Netmobile Grand Prix in both versions. The dub removes most of the establishing shots in the beginning of the episode, and almost all of the shots with Aki. All of the characters getting to the starting line in their own funny way is all removed. It should be mentioned, the dub in this episode contains various bizarre quirks. First is that the title card is actually in the final version. It plays for a few frames. Additionally, everyone's original Japanese name is displayed when their cars are being introduced. Footage is moved around a lot in this episode. Additionally, Yahoot's shop is left unedited. When Lan uses a spike tire chip, the dub removes a shot of the riders announcing that you shouldn't drive on the road with this car. The shot of the bomb that the Cutman brothers put on Mega Man's car is cut out. The audience booing and the scene where Rush announced the winner is cut out. And then there's a host of cut footage that is kind of left alone in the final version. If you slow down the footage enough, you can see that frames of scenes that were previously cut are left as is. That's pretty bizarre, and as far as I know, the only episode that does this. And that ends the Net City finale arc. Overall, it's just more of the same. It's baffling that Mega Man aiming his buster on screen is left alone in some episodes now, but still removed in others. Inconsistency defined this era of network dubs, with dub quirks being plentiful if you keep an open eye. What's strangest to me is all the quirks left behind in the Netmobile Grand Prix episode. I'd love to get my hand on broadcast footage of this episode, because I struggle to believe that this episode aired the way it appears in the DVDs. There's literal frames of the title card and removed scenes all around the episode. Either way, it's almost impossible to find broadcast footage of the original NT Warrior, so that's unlikely to happen. Tune in next time when I cover the Grave arc.